Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemi Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of great milestone and do well. Salutation to the men of the hopeful and sincere elect. There's a brother Marcus out here in Trinidad. I just want to do knowledge edification for the elect's sake. And this lesson will be more reasons to look up the Hebrew. Alright, more reasons to look up the Hebrew. So I'll try my best, for this lesson not to be, too long. Alright, mainly just gonna bring out 3 precepts. Alright, so I'll get straight into it. This is the book of, because everybody, and it's not only Nate and other men in IUIC that says, the Hebrew and the Greek, it's irrelevant to know the Hebrew and the Greek, it's to know the strongs of certain words is irrelevant. Literally, had encounters with Christians that actually say the same thing, you don't need that, you don't need no concordance, that is the white man book, and basically is a fool will say that. Alright, the scripture says the heart tried meats. Alright, the heart tried meats, roughly paraphrasing. So for us to really have an in-depth understanding of the scriptures, we have to use tools that the Lord Yahweh Shemi Shai provided out there for us. As the scripture says, lo, my enemy has written a book, and I read upon my head like a crown. Alright, we didn't write the Bible, our enemy did. Alright, our enemy compiled the scrolls that the Lord allowed them to enter a book that we use in now called the Bible, the Old and the New Testament, alright, to prophesy in these last days. Alright, so just as I said, 3 scriptures just to prove that we need to go in, into the, the Hebrew or the Greek, to understand what scriptures really talking about, because a lot of times scriptures, the ancient, fathers, they made parabolic, references to things. Alright, so you'd have to look up the word to see what the word was talking about to understand, what that scripture itself meant. Alright, this is the book of Genesis chapter 25 and verse 27. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So now if you read that, face value, you will say Esau was a man in the field, he was a cunning hunter, Esau would be out there. And just like them now, you always in the wild, they like to call themselves or describe themselves as avid hunters, always rock climbing, going into all sorts of cracks and crevices in the mountain faces, in caves and whatnot. Deep sea diving, skydiving, they always outside. Alright, but when it comes to Jacob and it says he was a plain man dwelling in tents, you would say Jacob is just basic. Jacob probably was just like a mama's boy, like the average Jake. Lazy, just want to stay home, lie down, he's plain, he's simple. Alright, but that is not what it meant. Alright, so when you go into it and you look up the word plain,
Strong's H 8535, Tom.
Right, Tom. Alright, which means what? Perfect, complete, perfect. It says one who lacks nothing in physical strength or beauty. Alright, which Jacob was strong, he wrestled with an angel, but he's also perfect and complete. He got that from his father Abraham and Isaac. Alright, sound, wholesome. Where you get the word Thamayam, alright, like the Awayam and the Thamayam, wholesome. It says an ordinary quiet sort of person. It says complete, morally innocent, having integrity, which is something we all need to have in these last days. One who is morally and ethically pure. So when it says Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents, basically saying, hey, Jacob was an upright man. Alright? basically saying Jacob was an upright man. All right. Let's see the NLT. It says what Jacob was a quite temperament man. Was quite basically quite temperament. All right. It says he quiet. Jacob was a homely man going off because nothing like what the word said. You know, tam means to be complete or perfect. All right. So basically, if you read any of these versions, basically you would still be off with the understanding. All right. It'll be off with the understanding. All right. Peace. All of these saying that, you know, that he just peaceful or just a simple man. But that is not what it meant. It meant he was a perfect man. All right. Just like, you know, the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah, he gave us the laws, commandments, and statutes to be perfect, to be upright. Because that is what our father Jacob was. He was an upright man that, you know, basically stayed home. You know, as the scripture says, you know, I'll get after. I just want to read this. This is the book of Psalms 37. All right, Psalms 37 and 37, it says, mark the perfect man. Let's see what the word perfect man there is. All right, perfect man, which is what?
Strong's H, 8535. Tom.
Mark the perfect man is the same word when it says Jacob was a plain man, a perfect man, a complete man, an innocent man, a man that has moral, a man that has integrity. Integrity is something that a lot of us missing in these last days, something that we need to have. It says, Psalms 37 and 37, it says, mark the perfect man and behold the upright. All right, let's see what upright means. It says, and behold the upright. Straight, upright, correct, right, level-minded. All right? So we're supposed to be, you know, like Jacob was, you know, complete, whole, perfect. All right? Just. All right? So it says, mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of man is peace. For the end of that man is peace. And that is why Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. He didn't have to go out and fight wars. Just like with the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah did in the days of Solomon. He brought peace to Israel. Just like he's going to do to us in the time of Yahweh Shai, when Yahweh Shai comes to reestablish his kingdom. He's going to bring peace to Israel. Yes, peace comes via warfare. The ending of warfare is peace. But evidently, that is what the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah is going to give us. Peace. All right, and we're gonna be upright men, dwelling safely at home. We don't have to be out in the trenches all the time in warfare. All right, the Lord gonna give us peace on every side. All right, it says, but the salvation of the righteous, verse 38, it says, but the transgressors shall be destroyed together, the end of the wicked shall be cut off. All right. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. It says, but the salvation of the righteous is of Yahweh. He is their strength in the time of trouble. And Lord Yahweh Shemeshah gonna be the strength of the plain men, of the upright men. All right. He says, and Yahweh Shemeshah shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. And we have to trust in Yahweh Shemeshah to be delivered. All right, we have to put our trust in the Lord so that the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah will deliver us in the time to come. All right, in the time of Jacob's trouble. All right. Now, when you go to Habakkuk, because it says Esau was a man, you know, a man of the field, he all over the place. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5, it says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth he at home. He always out when waging warfare amongst all other nations. Because why? Because from inception, He, from conception, he was a man of the field. He always outside. He always want to be all over the place. He could never keep at home. The scripture says in Isaiah, there's no peace to the wicked. All right, there's no peace to the wicked. So guess what? Esau has that way about him that he likes to be outside in other countries and other people's affairs. He can't keep at home. And he's not upright. He's not clean. He's not complete. He's not wholesome. He's not upright. And he does not have any integrity. A lot of our people falling after these Edomites, to have that same, mindset where they're lacking integrity. For us to be delivered any time coming, we need to have that integrity. We need to be upright. We need to be wholesome. All right? So we're going on to the next one. The first one was Genesis 25, when it says he was a plain man. So you need to understand what Isaiah 25 was really talking about when he said Jacob was a plain man. You need to go into the Hebrew. All right? So this is the other one. This is Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. So again, face value, this saying, children are the oppressors and women rule over them. And you might say, that is like when you have a child with a woman and she takes you to court, you understand? So they're ruling over you and using the child to oppress you. Nah, that is not what it means. All right? That's not what it means. When you go into the word children, it does not says banyam. It says what?
Strong's H 5953. Allow.
All right? Ilal. All right? And it says what? To act severely, deal with severely, to make a fool of someone, to act severely. So the word there is not to say that children ruling over them, basically saying severe rulers being, ruling over them. It's right to act severely, to be severely dealt with, to busy oneself, divert oneself, deal wantonly, deal ruthlessly, abuse by trusting truth, to practice practices, trust forth in wickedness, it says to glean, to act or play the child, to insert, to trust in, trust upon. All right? So the only once, if you look on the side here, only once the word children was used for that word. All right? So when you go back to it, it says what? As for my people, cruel oppressors are their oppressors, or are their rulers. So when you go into translations, all right, it says here NLT, childish leaders oppress them. All right, the ASV, it says children are their oppressors. Boom, boom, boom. It says extractors are sucklings, which makes no damn sense. Yes, the NET says oppressors treat my people cruelly. All right. So when it says children are the oppressors, it means that you're gonna have cruel, as the scripture says, a cruel Lord. You're gonna have cruel leadership over them. All right. We go lower down. Let's see what they have down here. The NASB says, my people, their oppressors treat them violently. All right. It says their taskmasters are infants. Basically just mean, like when you watch this movie Exodus with Christian Bale, they show the Mosai as a child, which there was basically scoffing at the Mosai. A child, the reason why they put you a child is just like a child has tantrums, where they just act and they just do things irrational and they destroy and whatnot. Basically that is Esau. Understand? That childish ruler, you act like a child, you just act off emotions, you just want to destroy, someone offends you, want to slaughter the whole family. You know, that is basically the childish rulers that ruling over them. Understand? He says the BES, it says, oh my people, your exactors strip you. All right. So when you go in Isaiah chapter 3 and 12, it says, what are some of my people? Cruel rulers are their oppressors. Cruel rulers. Look at what's going on right now with Donald Trump. Cruel rulers. All you Jake that was in America seeking, you know, asylum or better life or whatever the case is. Now you have to flee. Now you have to flee. All right, you have to flee and leave the country. All right. They did us that back in the time of Nero, in the time of the Inquisition. All right, under Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. All right, we had cruel rulers ruling over us. All right, we had cruel rulers ruling over us. Antiochus Epiphanes, cruel rulers, childish rulers. All right, if you want to play it like that. All right. There's the book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4. It says, and the Egyptians I will give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said, you know, the Lord of hosts. All right, let's see the word cruel. All right, it says hard, cruel, severe, obstinate, severe. All right, and fierce, strong, mighty, and fierce. All right, so that is the cruel rulers that ruling over them. All right, that is the cruel rulers. All right, not the children ruling over them because their mothers put them in, you know, welfare or paternity court, you know, so that they have to pay all sorts of high, you know, child maintenance, so to speak, to take care of this of the child, so that, you know, that because you probably might be making, you know, let's say 3,000 a month, but 2,000 out of that have to go to the child, so the child oppressing you. Nah, that is not what it meant. That's not what it meant. It just meant that they had cruel rulers ruling over them. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 4. It says, Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 4, it says, I also will choose their delusions, and I will bring their fears upon them, because when they called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before my eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. All right, so delusion, when you look up delusion, what delusion means? Delusion means something that, matter of fact, you know what, let me don't even assume what delusion means. Let's just go to the word delusion. Where is it? Delusion. Let's see. No, not that. Not translate. Web search. Just once. Let's see what delusion means. All right. Delusion. All right. It says delusion, a false belief or judgment about external reality held despite incontrovertible evidences to the contrary, occurring especially in mental conditions. So like when somebody says, man, you delusional means that you're going mad. But when the Lord said, he says, I will choose their delusions, this is what he says: wantonness, caprice, vexation. And here you have one of the definitions, babe. All right, babe. It says, I will choose your babe. Nah, that is not what it means. All right, let's look up the word caprice. All right, it says a sudden and uncomfortable change of mood or behavior. All right, caprice meaning, it says what? A sudden, impulsive, and seemingly unmotivated motion or action. A sudden, usually unpredictable condition, a change of series of changes. So when that cruel ruler come upon you, just like what happening to Jake now, there's a sudden impulsive change, just like, as I said, how children act. They act impulsive, like, when they portray the Moses as a child in the movie Exodus with Christian Bale, saying he impulsive. That is why, so they portray the Lord as a child. That was scoffing at the Most High, but that is what it was trying to imply, that the Lord is impulsive. All right, a disposition of things impulsively. All right. So he says what? Wantonness or vexation. All right. So the word there, delusion, goes back to what? Wantonness or vexation. All right, let us see what is said in other versions. It says, I will send them great trouble and all things they feared from the cruel rulers. All right. They never mention delusions here. All right. The Derby, it says, I will choose their calamities from the cruel ruler. All right. The RSV, I will choose affliction for them. All right. So the word delusion don't go to being mad, or basically you gonna go mad. You gonna go mad. All right. It says, also I fix on their vexations and bring their fear upon them. ESV, I also will choose harsh treatment for them from the cruel rulers, from the babes, because one of the definitions for delusion is babe or child, as they use in Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. It says, I will choose their punishment. I will choose severe punishment. All right, so you really need to go into the Hebrew to understand what these words be talking about. Hence, case in point, when you go in Genesis chapter 49, when it says in their cruelty, I believe, it says they threw down a wall. That wasn't talking about a wall. When you look up the word their wall goes back to ox, and it says they hamstrung an ox, which was referring to Shechem and his son. All right, and the men of Shechem. The men of that city was the wall, so they destroyed all the men of that city. All right, that is what it was talking about. It wasn't talking about they just, threw down a wall or like a literal wall. It was talking about when they destroyed the men. All right, there's the final one here, the 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 25. It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it, until an ass head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the 4th part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. So yes, they did eat, the ass's head, but you can tell, like, dove's dung, like, you eating dove shit? Like, how you eating dove shit and being satisfied? You might as well eat your own shit. All right, but that is not what it was talking about. All right, when you go into dove's dung, all right, when you go into dove's dung, all right, so it does say dove's dung, all right, but it says here, or perhaps rather the plural of a single word, kara yawam, probably a kind of vegetable excrement of dove's dung. All right, so when you go here, it says this may this may be taken in its proper sense, for it is not incredible that then oppressed by long continued famine should be eaten dove's dung. All right, it says, but it is less probable that this name should be applied to some kind of vegetable food, just as in Arabic the herb kali is called sparrow's dung, and in the shops of the skimmis in Germany, all right, it's called whatever that word is. All right, it says see Bokat heroes, excuse the pronunciation of this word, of these words and names. That's right. It says, however, Celsius, all right, it says, who roughly shows that Bokart has erred in saying that the Arabs are in the habit of calling fried beans dove's dung or sparrow's dung. All right. So when you go here, all right, in Bible Hub, all right, it says fourth part of cab of dove's dung. It says that the cab was the smallest Hebrew dry measure. All right. The term dove's dung, in all probability, denotes some kind of common vegetable produce, perhaps a sort of pulse or peas, all right, which was ordinarily very cheap. Such as designation is not unparalleled. The Arabs called the herb kali sparrow's dung. All right. Salak. All right, here in Benson's commentary, he also mentions Bokart. He says Bokart has shown that there is among the Arabs some kind of vetches, all right, or pulse called by this name. All right. Boom, boom, boom. We have here in Barnes, it says dove's dung. Most commentators understand by this expression a sort of pulse which is called dove's dung or sparrow's dung in Arabic. All right. So you see that, a lot of the commentators agree that it wasn't an excrement. It was actually what they called a herb. All right. Now, when you go here to the Star of Bethlehem, all right, it says is also known as dove's dung. All right. And you see you have a picture on the side there with the flower. It says it's also known as dove's dung because of a biblical passage that describes the desperate people of Samaria eating the plant's bulb during famine. It says explanation: the Star of Bethlehem is a bulbous perennial plant with white star-shaped flowers. It says the Hebrew name of the plant is called Deb Yon, which translates to dove's dung, the Hebrew name for the plant. All right. It said the plant bulbs were eaten by the people of Samaria during what the hell is that? All right. It says the plant's white flowers resemble the excrement of birds, which is how it got its name. The plant's scientific name is Ornithogalum, which means bird milk. I know birds don't milk, so when they shit, their shit comes out, soft if bird ever shit on you, and white like liquid. All right, so basically any they didn't eat bird dropping, they didn't eat bird shit. They ate or was a bulbous plant. All right, in the time of the siege, which had the name dove's dung. It wasn't literal dove shit. So you go around saying, they was eating dove shit, they was eating dove shit. No, they wasn't eating dove shit, they was actually eating a plant. All right. And how would you know this? By doing what the Lord Yahweh Shemi and Shai put the spirit on the apostles to do, to teach us to dig, not to be lazy, but to dig. All right. So with that, I hope it was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemi and Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of greatness who do rule well. Salutation to the men of the Ophra and Sensei elect. This is your brother Marcus out here in Trinidad saying Shalom and stay strong. Shalom.